All right, let's talk about something I think we can all relate to. Do you ever feel like you're just stuck on a digital hamster wheel? You know, doing the same boring tasks over and over and over again? Copying data, sending the same notifications, sorting files. It's so tedious. But what if you could have a little digital assistant to handle all of that for you? Instantly, perfectly, every single time.
Just imagine this for a second. A new email, maybe an order confirmation, lands in your inbox. And without you lifting a single finger, the customer's name, the order details, all the important stuff gets zapped right into a Google Sheet, perfectly. And at that exact same moment, ping, a notification hits your phone. You didn't click anything. You didn't copy. You didn't paste. It just happens, almost like magic.
I mean, that sounds like some kind of high-tech wizardry, doesn't it? So the big question is, how on earth is this possible, especially if you have absolutely zero coding experience? Well, that's the secret we're about to spill.
It is time to meet your very own personal automatic assistant. We are about to pull back the curtain and show you the incredibly simple tool that makes all of this a reality.
So the secret sauce here is a tool called n8n, and the idea behind it is just brilliantly simple. Think of n8n as a universal translator for all your different apps. It gets them talking to each other, working together, all on autopilot. And here is the absolute best part. You don't have to be a coding genius to be the one calling the shots.
So why is this such a game changer? Well, the benefits are just huge. First off, it saves you an unbelievable amount of time. Think of all those hours you get back in your week. It gets rid of that mind-numbing manual work, which also means way fewer mistakes. It can connect apps that were never ever meant to talk to each other. It works for you 24/7, even when you're sleeping. And get this, the self-hosted version is totally free to use. It's a true productivity powerhouse.
Okay, so how does all this digital magic actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the fundamental building blocks that make everything in n8n tick.
You know, it all comes down to one simple, absolutely brilliant idea: the node. And honestly, the best way to think about a node is to imagine a digital Lego block. Seriously, each node is just one little block that does one very specific job. That's it. One block, one job.
And just like with Legos, you've got all these different kinds of blocks for different jobs. You've got an email node that knows how to check your inbox, there's a Google Sheets node that knows exactly how to write data into a spreadsheet, and then you have these cool logic nodes, like an if node, which lets your automation actually make decisions. The variety here is what makes it so incredibly powerful.
So, you've got these individual Lego blocks, right? These nodes, each one doing its one little thing. But the real power, the real magic, well, that happens when you start clicking them together. See, when you connect a bunch of these nodes together, one after another, you're creating what's called a workflow. A workflow is basically just the recipe you're giving your automatic assistant. It's the blueprint, telling it exactly what to do and in what order to do it.
Let's go back to that first example because it shows this perfectly. Step 1 is a special kind of node called a trigger. It's the starting block that says, hey, when a new email arrives, start working. That node then passes the email data to step 2, the Google Sheets node, which says, okay, take this data and stick it in a new row on my sheet. Then finally, that triggers step 3, the Telegram node, which says, all done, now send me a message. See, it's just a simple chain of command.
And when you compare this to doing it the old way, the difference is just staggering. Let's really break it down. Manual data entry. We all know it's prone to typos and human error. In n8n automation, it is perfectly consistent and accurate every single time. What about speed? A task that might take you a few minutes by hand is done in like seconds. Availability? You can only work so many hours in a day. Your automation is on the job 24/7. And the effort? Instead of doing the same tedious thing again and again, you just set it up once and you're done.
So who is actually building these amazing workflows? You might be thinking this is just for big corporations or super techie people, right? Not even close.
The variety of people who get real value out of n8n is just awesome. I mean, we're talking about students trying to organize their research, freelancers who want to automate their client invoicing, you've got IT admins who are managing really complex systems, YouTubers who are streamlining their publishing process, and of course, businesses of every shape and size are making their work more efficient.
At the end of the day, this is for anyone who has ever just stared at their computer screen doing some repetitive task and thought to themselves, there has to be a better, smarter way to do this. It's a tool that gives you back your most valuable resource, your time.
And that really brings us to the most important point of all of this. This isn't just about a cool piece of tech. It's about a bigger shift. It's about making really powerful automation accessible to absolutely everyone. So, that leaves us with one last, and I think pretty powerful question to think about. As you go about your day-to-day, just notice all those little digital chores you do without even thinking about them. And ask yourself, what is the very first repetitive task you would hand over to your own personal automatic assistant?